Yes. Good morning. Namaskar to all of you. Good morning. Let us begin with a prayer. This is on page 164 of his book, The Universal Prayers. There are three stanzas, all the three we shall chant from the Mahakala Samhita, describing the glories of the Divine Mother. Om न ते नाम गोत्रे न ते जन्म मृत्यु न ते धाम चेष्टे न ते दुःख सौख्ये न ते मित्र शत्रु न ते बन्ध मोक्षौ त्वमेका परब्रह्म रूपेण सिद्धा न बाला न च त्वं मयस्था न वृद्धा न च स्त्री न षण्डस्पुमान्नैव च त्वं सुरो नासुरो नो नरो वा न नारी त्वमेका परब्रह्मरूपेण सिद्धा यथा बिम्बमेकं रवेरम्बरस्थं प्रतिच्छायया तावदेकोदकेषु समुद्भासतेनेकरूपं तथावत् त्वमेका परब्रह्मरूपेण सिद्धा. O Divine Mother, you have neither name nor lineage, neither birth nor death, neither abode nor activity. You have neither pain nor pleasure, neither friend nor enemy, neither bondage nor freedom. You are the one without a second, known as the Brahman Supreme. You are neither a girl nor a woman, young or old. You are neither masculine nor feminine, neither female nor neuter. You are neither a god nor a demon nor a human being. You are the one without a second, known as the Brahman Supreme. As the one sun, reflected in different pools of water, appear as so many different suns, so you too, O Mother, appear as many through delusion, but still you are the one without a second, known as the Brahman Supreme, whom you worship as the Divine Mother, is same as Brahman described in the Upanishads. This is what Sri Ramakrishna also taught. Kali and Brahman are one and the same. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have been studying in the 18th chapter three kinds of Buddhi and three kinds of dhṛtiḥ: sattvic, rajasic, and Tamasic. In the preceding three verses, 30, 31, and 32, in chapter 18, we studied sattvic Buddhi, rajasic Buddhi, and Tamasic Buddhi. It's important to know the distinction because we have to, first of all, refine our buddhi, intellect, thinking power, discriminating power, and make it sattvic, and then transcend that too. So the qualities of a sattvic buddhi are described in Sloka number 30. We read that one, we'll quickly review that. Sloka number 30 in chapter 18. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha ya vetti buddhi sa pārtha sattvikī. Sattvikī buddhi is that which can clearly distinguish between pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti means the path of engagement in action. Nivritti means path of withdrawal. This we have studied before. Pravritti marga, nivritti marga. Pravritti marga, engaging in the world, binds us to the world. Bandha hetuhu. In the commentary on this sloka, Shankara says, pravrittihi pravartanam bandha hetuhu karma marga. It binds us. Karma produces karma phala. And karma phala, good or bad, we have to experience that one. And then that gives rise to more karma and so on. We become stuck in the cycle of karma, karma phala, karma phala. That is what happens if you pursue the pravritti marga. As opposed to that, nivritti marga, nivrittihi moksha hetuhu sannyasa margaha, the path of renunciation. Nivritti. That leads us to freedom from the cycle of birth and death and all the suffering, all limitations and all suffering. That is what we call liberation or moksha or mukti, nivritti marga. But in the Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna has explained in earlier chapters, many places in the earlier chapters, that pursuing the path of pravritti, engagement in worldly action, can also lead us to liberation if we only do the karma as an offering and with complete detachment, sangam tyaktva, and remaining equanimous regardless of the outcome of our work. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva, remaining unperturbed in success and failure, and practicing detachment from all karma phala, either by offering everything to the divine as our humble offering, all our karma, or as doing it as worship, or becoming free from the notion of agency. I am not the karta. That is the higher state. Either way, we have to practice detachment from karma and karma phala. If we do that, then even the pravritti marga also can lead us to liberation. So the distinction between pravritti marga and nivritti marga, if one knows that such a person has sattvikī buddhi. But tamasic buddhi, which we studied in Sloka 32, cannot distinguish right from wrong. 32, describing tamasi buddhi, Bhagavan says, adharmam dharmamitya manyate tamasa vrata. What is described as adharma, unrighteous, wrong action, values in the scriptures and by the teachers, that will be misunderstood to be the right thing to do. You can see examples of this, tamasi buddhi all around. What should not be done, they do exactly that. What should be done, they don't do that one. Knowingly. That is tamasi buddhi. Tamasi buddhi leads us to suffering, untold suffering. So if we know the distinction, sattvic buddhi, rajasic buddhi, tamasi buddhi, and purify our buddhi, make it sattvic buddhi, then that will lead us to liberation, freedom. You remember in this context, Sri Ramakrishna's story of the parable of the three robbers. Tamasic robber, the first one wanted to kill the merchant. They had already taken away all his belongings, possession, money, and everything. The first robber wanted to kill him. The second robber, representing Rajasi, Rajoguna, he says, no way to kill, that is, tie him to a tree and by the time we escapes, we can go away from here. Rajas binds. Attachment, desire, anger, these all qualities of rajas. We have seen all this before in much detail. Sattva frees, shows the way to freedom. The third robber came back, unties the knots, and frees the man, the merchant, and shows him the way to his home, his own abode. Sattva represents the third robber represents sattva. Sattva represents shows us the way to freedom, releases us from the cycle of birth and death, grants us liberation or moksha. That is why it is important to know the distinction. Now, the next topic is in verses 33, 34, and 35. Three kinds of dhṛti. Sāttvikī dhṛti, rajasi dhṛti, tamasi dhṛti. The word dhṛti has come before in chapter 13, describing the kshetra. Dhṛti is translated in different ways by different commentators. Dhṛti is translated as willpower, as perseverance, as fortitude, as steadiness. Steadiness, dhṛti, perseverance with which we do things. We should have persevere. We should persevere. We should have perseverance in our action. If we can easily give up some activity, when we encounter some obstruction, then our dhṛti is not firm. Our resolution is not firm. We have to have a firm determination that no matter what obstruction comes, I'm going to complete this task that I have undertaken. That is firmness, determination to complete something that one has begun. That is sattvikī dhṛti. Sri Ramakrishna explains this with the help of this parable. There was a man who wanted to get water and wanted to dig a well. So he started digging in some place, and after digging for a couple of feet, he encounters a big rock. Some obstruction came. Then he gives that up and goes to another spot, start digging there. There also, after digging for a couple of feet, he encounters some other obstruction, sand or something comes. Then he gives it up and start digging a third place. If you keep on doing this, then we will never get water. You have to persevere in spite of obstructions. That we know in our life, daily experience shows that whatever action we undertake, usually we encounter some obstruction, vighna. That's why we pray to Lord Ganesha before starting anything. O Lord Ganesha, please make this work free from obstructions. Vigna vinashaka. Obstructions come. But the sign of sattvikī dhṛti is to persevere in spite of obstructions, obstacles. Either in worldly life or in spiritual life. In spiritual life, many obstacles come. In the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, which many of you studied recently with Swami Atmagyanandaji, Patanjali describes 13 obstacles to spiritual life. When you sit down for meditation, so many things happen. Headache comes and you feel sleepy and knee pain and backache. Mind is wandering everywhere, vikshepa, all these things. So we have to persevere in spite of obstructions. Otherwise, we will not reach the goal. If we easily give up and we encounter some obstacle, then we cannot reach the goal. We cannot complete any task. So that kind of firmness is sattvikī dhṛti. That is being explained in sloka number 33. Let us do that. 33. dhṛtyā yayā dhārayate manaḥprāṇendriyakriyāḥ yogenāvyabhicāriṇyā dhṛtiḥ pārtha sattvikī. Sattvikī dhṛti is being described here. Yayā dhṛtyā, that perseverance, determination, by which manaḥprāṇendriyakriyāḥ are performed. Manaha means mind. Prana means the prana shakti, which is the vital force, which makes all actions possible. Indriya means all the sense organs, 10 sense organs. All these three instruments, we have three instruments: mind, speech, and sense organs, body. All these instruments that we have and the prana shakti that we have to be engaged in the right direction to achieve the highest goal of life, ultimate goal of life. We should not fritter away the energy and the time and these facilities that we have, sense organs, mind that we have, in pursuing worldly things which are of no consequence in the long run. Worldly activities such as seeking fame, pleasure, wealth, position, power, this may appear very interesting in the short run, very attractive, but if we spend our time in pursuing those, they will not be there. They are all short-lived. As we have seen before, all these things are very temporary. Adyantavantaha, they have a beginning and an end, and then they will go away. Or even if they are there, we will not be able to enjoy them. So that is not, they are not worth pursuing. To some extent, we need all those things. We need a place to stay. We need some money to pay the bills. We need to have a roof over our heads. All those basic needs we have to acquire. Or we can have acquire something more to help others. But after that, greed takes over. When need stops and where greed begins, that is a line that sattvic buddhi has to determine. Tamasic buddhi cannot know. They keep on acquiring more and more. They are never satisfied. Greed kills them. That is tamasi buddhi. Sattvic buddhi, no, this is enough. dhṛtyā Santosha, chapter 4, Sloka 22. Whatever comes on its own, with that I am satisfied. That is sign of a devotee. Chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga chapter, describing qualities of a bhakta, a devotee. Again, Sri Krishna says contentment is a very important quality. Tripti, Santosha. There it says, chapter 12, sloka number 19, Tulya nindastutir mauni santushto yena kenachit. With whatever is there, with that being content. All these are qualities of a sattvic person. Coming back to dhṛti, perseverance, in spite of obstructions, we have to persevere and take our work to its logical conclusion. We should not give up easily when some obstruction comes. So many obstructions in spiritual life comes. Also in worldly life, so many things happen. But perseverance is necessary. That is sattvikī buddhi. Sattvikī dhṛti. So sloka number 33. dhṛtyā yayā dhārayate manaḥprāṇendriyakriyāḥ yogenāvyabhicāriṇyā dhṛtiḥ pārtha sattvikī. That kind of perseverance in engaging mind, prana shakti, and sense organs in reaching the ultimate goal of life, namely God realization, liberation, moksha, mukti, self-knowledge, atmagana, whatever we think of as a goal of life. In spite of obstructions, that is called sattvikī dhṛti. Yogenāvyabhicāriṇyā means unwavering yoga. Yoga means engaging in our spiritual pursuit in spite of obstructions. Obstructions will definitely come in life. That's the nature of life. Whether you're doing something of a secular nature, your job, your profession, or a family, or anything, there also obstructions come. Or whether you're pursuing spiritual life, trying to know God, try to have devotion to God, self-knowledge, there also obstructions come that we cannot stop. But the sign of sattvikī dhṛtiḥ is that to proceed, to persist in spite of obstructions, and not giving up until the goal is reached. That is sattvikī dhṛtiḥ. The one supreme example of sattvikī dhṛtiḥ we see in the life of Bhagavan Buddha. All of us, we are doing some spiritual life in our own humble way. Some meditation, some Gita study, some gospel study, something you are doing. But our effort is not of the highest kind. You do a little bit, as much as possible, and then we do something else. That's how it is right now. But if you take the example of Buddha, once he began his spiritual quest, never gave up, no matter what obstruction gave. As you know, Buddha's story you all know, he was a prince. He was married, young wife was there, a babe child was also there, kingdom was there. He could have remained happy as a king. But when he saw suffering, he saw an old man, very sick. Then he asked, why is this man like this? He's very sick. Sickness. Does it happen to me also? Oh, yeah, yes. Then he saw a dead body. What is that? The man is dead. Dead means what? Doesn't live anymore. Does it happen to me? Of course. Everybody will die. And a poor man like this, when he saw suffering, then he thought, no, if it is going to happen to everybody, then we should find some solution. So he set out he gave up his kingdom, walked away from his palace, leaving the young wife and child, the kingdom, everything, and went to find solution to all human suffering. Buddha's quest was to find a permanent solution to all human suffering, not just for one's own, his own, for all mankind. Why there is suffering and how to overcome that one, how to prevent it. That was his quest. But unlike ordinary people who do something and then some obstacle comes, they will stop it or do something else. No, he did not give up. There is a very famous verse. I don't know from where it is. It occurs in several places I have seen, that describes Buddha's unwavering determination, sattvikī dhṛtiḥ. The determination of Buddha unsurpassed. If you have a little bit of that, we can reach our goal. So it is described Buddha's determination to reach the goal, no matter what obstruction comes. I'm not going to get up from this seat. We sit down for meditation after we're looking at the clock, and then have backache and mind is wandering, and then we get up to something else. No, Buddha was not like that. Let the body perish. Even if death comes, I'm not going to get up from this seat until I reach the goal. He said to himself, this is the Sloka. He says, Iha sane shushyat me shariram tvagasti mamsam pralayam chayantu aprapya bodham bahujanma durlabham naivasanat kayamataschalishyate. He said to himself, sat down under a Bodhi tree, I'm not going to get up from this seat until I reach the goal of illumination, solution to all human suffering. No matter what happens. Ihasane me shariram shushyatu. In this asana, not going to get up. Even my body may perish. Shariram me shushyatu. Tvagasti mamsam pralayam chayantu. Tvagasti mamsam means skin, bone, and flesh. They may all perish. I'm not going to get up. No matter what pain comes, I'm not going to get up. Bahujanma durlabham bodham aprapya. Bodham means knowledge, self-knowledge, that releases people permanently from all suffering. shows the way to permanent freedom, self-knowledge, which is Bahujanma Durlabham, very difficult to get even in many lifetimes. One has to struggle for many lifetimes to get that knowledge. That knowledge, aprapya, until I get it. If you don't get it, until I get it. Ihasanat ataha kayam na chalishyati. Kayam means the body does not move from this asana. No matter what. Even if death comes, I'm going to sit down here and persevere, and I will not get up until the goal is reached. That kind of determination, that's how we achieved illumination, became Buddha. So now millions and millions of people are following his teachings all over the world. That is sattvikī dhṛtiḥ. If you have a little bit of that, we can't be like Buddhas. We are ordinary people. If a small part of that, a small fraction of that Buddha determination, if we have, we can reach our goal in our spiritual life. That is sattvikī buddhi. So this sloka number 33. dhṛtyā yayā dhārayate manaḥprāṇendriyakriyāḥ yogenāvyabhicāriṇyā dhṛtiḥ pārtha sattvikī. Unwavering yoga means unwavering effort, engagement in spiritual life. That is sattvikī dhṛtiḥ. Now, rajasic, tamasic dhṛtiḥ, we don't have to struggle. They are familiar to us. We don't have to spend much time. Sloka number 34, describing rajasic dhṛtiḥ. Yayā tu dharma kāmārthān dhṛtyā dhārayate arjuna prasangena phala kāṅkṣī dhṛtiḥ pārtha rajasi. Rajasi dhṛtiḥ is being described here. Sloka number 34. Yayā dhṛtyā dharma kama arthan dhārayate. According to our Hindu tradition, there are 4 goals of life. You are familiar with that. What are they? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Moksha means liberation, ultimate goal. Majority of people seek only the first 3. Actually, only the middle 2, artha, kama. Sometimes dharma also they don't want to follow. Through dharmic means they want to achieve money and enjoyment. So generally people follow dharma, dharmic rules. So 3 things they pursue with perseverance, dharma, artha, kama. They don't easily give up. In their pursuit of worldly pleasure, if some obstruction comes, they will persevere. That perseverance is shown in pursuing, in seeking worldly enjoyment, pleasure, fame, wealth, position, power, family, children, grandchildren. These things they pursue. Long life, good health, beauty, youth. Because these things they hope will bring the pleasure, happiness. In pursuing this, they show perseverance. But in pursuing spiritual life, that perseverance is shaky. Some obstruction comes, they will easily get up from the seat. That is rajasic dhṛtiḥ. Yayā dhṛtyā dharma kama arthan dhārayate. People pursue pleasure and kama. Kama means enjoyment. Different kinds of enjoyment. Various kinds of enjoyment they will pursue. Artha, they want to get more and more money, wealth. They pursue with diligence, perseverance. They won't give up. Sometimes even resorting to immoral means. Adharmic way also they will want to make money. Some people. That kind of dhṛti, perseverance which is used in seeking worldly pursuits, that is rajasic dhṛti. Sattvic dhṛti is in seeking God, God realization, seeking self-knowledge, bhakti, devotion like Buddha, seeking solution to suffering for all mankind. That is sattvikī buddhi, sattvikī dhṛti. Rajasic dhṛti means perseverance in seeking worldly success, getting a high position like this one. Prasangena phala kāṅkṣī. Sangha means attachment. Phala means the fruit of our karma, karma phala, the result of our action. Akanksha means desire to enjoy the fruit of our action. Ordinarily, an ordinary person with rajasic temperament performs some action and wants to enjoy the benefit of that action for himself or herself. That tendency, that kind of thinking is a rajasic tendency. I'm doing this work, I must get some benefit from it, I must enjoy, I must, this much profit I should make, this much benefit I should get. That kind of expectation of happiness from one's own karma, karma phala, that is rajasic tendency that you have seen before. Attachment to karma, karma phala, prasangena. Attachment to sangha means attachment to karma, karma phala. Phalakangshi. Phalakangshi is a person who desires the fruit of one's own action for himself or herself. There's unselfish action is right. If I do some action, not just for me alone, but that benefits everybody else and everything else, then I'm not being selfish. In unselfish way, I'm doing some action and it will benefit. I want my action to benefit everybody else and everything else. And if everybody benefits, I will also be getting the benefit. If a person in a family or a workplace does something good in the interest of all, not for oneself, all will benefit. Everybody in the department will benefit, everybody in the family will benefit, then the person also will benefit, is included. Not just for me alone, but for everybody else. That kind of unselfish attitude is necessary. That is sattvic attitude. But phalakangshi, coming back to 34, is one who wants the benefit of, enjoy the benefit of one's own action for one's own self. Selfish motivation to perform work. Attachment to work. Prasangena phalakangshi. That kind of determination, perseverance is dhṛtiḥ pārtha rajasi dhṛti. Now we go to Tamasic dhṛti, which is, we don't have to dwell much on that one. Sloka number 35. Yayā swapnam bhayam shokam vishādam madameva ca navimunchati durmedha dhṛtiḥ pārtha tamasi. Swapnam bhayam shokam vishādam madam. Adhering to these things, not giving up. Let us see the translation here. Tamasic resolve, O Arjuna, is that by which a mean-minded man, durmedha, clings to sleep, fear, grief, dejection, and indulgence. Indulgence in pleasure. Sticking to these things, pursuing these with much determination. Pursuing God with determination is sattvikī dhṛti. Pursuing pleasure and enjoyment, and this is tamasi dhṛti. Perseverance is there, but directed towards selfish goals, unworthy goals. That is tamasi dhṛti. He says, yayā, by which, that dhṛti by which, swapnam dhārayate. Swapna means dream, swapna means sleep. People want to keep on sleeping, even when it is time to get up, they don't want to get up. Because sleep is nice to sleep. And everybody else is getting up and going to meditation in the shrine. I want to sleep a little bit more. Comforter, it is nice in winter. Like that one. That perseverance in sleep. That is dhṛti, perseverance. But directed towards tamasic goal. Instead of persevering in spiritual pursuit, persevering in sleep, that is tamasi dhṛti. Yayā swapnam bhayam, fear. They cannot give up fear. Fear is a tamasic pravritti. Why? Because if we have pure devotion to God, there will be no fear. If you have self-knowledge, atma-jnana, there will be no fear. A Brahmajnani who sees everything as Brahman, himself as Brahman, there is only Brahman, there is no second thing. Ekameva advitiyam, then what is there to be afraid of? All pure consciousness. There is no other object from which fear can come. Dvitiya. A devotee also has no fear, because a devotee was pure devotion, total faith in God, in the mercy, compassion of God, protection of God. Where is the fear? In the Gita and other places, Bhagavan has repeatedly assured that if we have devotion to God, God will protect us and provide us everything that we need. That famous sloka in the 9th chapter, Yogakshemam mahamyaham ananyas chintayanto mam yejana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam mahamyaham. That means the Lord has promised, for those who are ever steadfastly devoted to me, nityabhiyuktanam, tesham, of those people, yogakshemam mahami. Maha means I will carry, I will provide. What? Two things, yoga, kshema. Yoga means providing things which are necessary, the person does not have, like food, clothing, place to stay, things like that. If everybody needs, and he provides, he will provide that one to devotees. Kshema means protection of what a devotee has. Both he has promised. Yoga kshema mohami. And also later he says in 9th chapter, Name bhakta pranashyati. My devotees will never perish. If you are devotion to God, suffering will come in life, inevitable, but devotee will remain firm, unaffected, to reach God. He will protect. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Like this, many places in the scriptures, in the Christian scripture Bible also, there is a section in the Bible called the Book of Psalms. In that, the 23rd chapter is famous, well known. There is one verse like this: the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not fear. The Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. Shepherd means one who protects, takes care of us. This is a Christian way of thinking. God is taking care of us, protecting us. So he is protecting me round the clock. And why should I be afraid of? What is there for me to afraid of? Total faith. If you don't have faith, then fear will come. A devotee who has faith in God and no fear. Even when I am not thinking about God, when I am asleep and I don't even remember God, He is protecting me, holding my hand. Holy Mother has said, Sri Ramakrishna is protecting you all the time. You take His name and He is holding you by your hand, supporting you. But the faith, if you have, the devotion, if you have, where's the fear? No bhayam. So that is, if you have fear, that is tamasic dhṛtiḥ, holding on to fear. Sapnam bhayam shokam. Shoka means sadness, sorrow. So many things happen in life: bereavement, loss of health, health problem, family problem, job problem, loss of job, loss of all these things happen. Inevitable in human life. Suffering is inevitable in human life. Nobody is free from it. Some are different types of suffering, or some for later, some earlier. For one kind of suffering for this person, another kind of suffering for that person. That is nature of life. Then nothing we can do about it. We have to accept it and go forward towards God. Perseverance. Sāttvikī dhṛtiḥ. Sloka. So how to overcome shoka then? Is there some way to overcome all sadness, all sorrow? Yes. That the scriptures say. In the Chandogya Upanishad, there is a very famous episode. You know, the famous Rishi Narada. We all heard about Narada Rishi, right? He himself, that was ordinary people like us. We have some problems, sometimes we have sorrow. Some suffering comes in my life. I feel sorry, sad. That's okay. But Narada himself was sad. They worship. He was overcome by sorrow. Then he goes to Sarat Kumara, Brahma's son, the greatest teacher. the highest authority. Narada goes. And Narada says to Sanat Kumara, sir, I have a Shoka, but he also knows solution. Narada knows the solution. He says to his teacher, Sanat Kumara, I have heard from great teachers like you that all Shoka, all sorrow will go away completely, permanently, only by self-knowledge, Atma-jnana. That was what he says in the Upanishad. But we who are following the path of bhakti, we can say pure devotion also makes us free from Shoka permanently. Prema, Shuddha Bhakti. So let us go back to Narada's story. Narada said to Sanat Kumara, sir, I am overcome by grief, but I have heard from great teachers like you that one who knows the self, one who has Atma-jnana, self-knowledge, that person becomes totally, permanently free from all grief. Shrutami Bhagavad Drishebhyaha Tarati Shokam Atmavit Iti. Bhagavad Drishebhya, from great teachers like you, Narada says to Sanat Kumara, Shrutam, I have heard, it has been heard. Shokam Tarati Atmavit. Atmavit means one who knows the Atman, Atma-jnani, Brahma-jnani. Tarati means crosses, Shoka means all grief. Totally, permanently, completely overcomes all grief for all time if you have self-knowledge. So please teach me that self, how to become free from Shoka for all time, forever. Then that story continues. Then Sanat Kumara teaches Narada gradually, in small increments. See, the sign of a great teacher is to come down to the level of the student. The teacher is at a higher level, he knows more, that's why he's a teacher. The student is at the beginning level. So a good teacher comes down to the student's level, and from where he is, step by step, it takes him to the highest goal. That's what Sanat Kumara does in the Chandogya Upanishad. Then finally, Sanat Kumara says, last lesson, the only way to find permanent peace and joy, unperturbed by any suffering, is to know the Atman, the infinite. By nature, we are infinite. Upanishads say, Tattvamasi, you are that, you are not the body mind, you are the Atman. Aham Brahmasmi. To know that, know means experience, not theoretically knowing. That we can read in a book doesn't help. Experience it. So when you know that truth by experience, then you will become totally free from all suffering. True happiness comes not from worldly things. Sukham. Sukham means happiness comes from where? People seek sukha, happiness in worldly things. In fame, pleasure, family, job, money, good health, beauty, youth, position, power. In these things, people seek happiness. But as we know, these are only temporary. They come and go. For some time, they will give happiness and then they will go away. Even if they are there, we can't enjoy. Old age comes. No, Nachiketa story. Nachiketa said, even if all the pleasures are there, Yama gave you all these things. When old age comes, you can't enjoy. Food is there, I cannot eat. Car is there, I cannot drive. Because old age, but didn't. So that is not the way to find happiness. To find happiness in the worldly things is not a sign of intelligence. We can't find it there. They have promised so much happiness. If you do this, I'll be so happy. If you do this, get this, I'll be so happy. All these things, hope. But when you get it, for some time you feel some happy, then not a problem start. But did I get into this? That comes. So Sanat Kumara says to Narada, that's not the way to find happiness. If you want freedom from suffering, shoka, sorrow, permanent freedom, eternal freedom from all suffering, then you have to seek the infinite. Atman is infinite, anantam. Bhumaiva sukham nalpe sukhamasti yanmartyam tadalpam, that which perishes, martyam, comes and goes. Everything that we know comes and goes. Body, children, money, fame, position, power, life, everything ends at some time, comes and goes. In that, there is no happiness. Because sometimes separation will come. All associations are temporary, time bound. Everything that we have will go away, including the body. Then where is permanent sukha? That's not where you find happiness. You find happiness only in the infinite, which does not go away. Eternal Atman is the only thing. Bhumaiva sukham nalpe sukhamasti yanmurtyam tadalpam. That which precious is limited. Kalpa. Don't go for that. To Narada, Sanat Kumara says. So that's what he continues there. So you're coming back to this one, shokam. We're discussing sorrow. How to overcome sorrow permanently for all time. That is by knowing the self, Atmajnana, or for devotees for following the path of bhakti by knowing God, having pure devotion to God. That also does the same thing. If you, Sri Ramakrishna said that if you have pure devotion to God, Divine Mother herself will give you self-knowledge. And those who have self-knowledge, they will have devotion also. If you get one, the other one will be there. Buy one, get one free. Either you get self-knowledge, then you will get pure devotion, or you get pure devotion, you get self-knowledge. So that is the only way to become free from shoka. Other relief measures are there. Temporarily, they will give freedom, good consolation, this and that we can do. There's no harm. Remedial measures. But permanent solution to all shoka, all sorrow, is only self-knowledge or pure devotion, bhakti, shuddha bhakti, prema. For that we need sattvikī dhṛtiḥ. We have to persevere. It won't come easily. Worldly things also require a lot of effort. Devotion also requires a lot of effort. Spiritual life also requires a lot of effort. It will not happen in one day. We have to put on, persevere in our spiritual practice day after day after day, in spite of obstructions. So that perseverance which pursues shoka, bhaya, swapna, sleep, vishada, despondency, mada, pride. Some people are so proud of their possessions. I know so much. I'm a genius, some people say. Genius does not say that is genius. And I know so much. I have so much money. I'm better than you. I know more than you. I'm stronger than you. Like this, pride for nothing. Shankaracharya says in the Bhajagavinda Stotram, Ma kuru dhana jana yavana garvam harati nimeshat kala sarvam maya mayamidamakhilam hitva dhamma padam tvam pravisha viditva. Dhana dhana yavana garvam ma kuru. Wealth, somebody with a lot of money today, billions of dollars, but can you be lost in one day? Stock market fails and everything, then you become from riches to rags. Dhana, pride of money. I have so much money, I'm a billionaire. Oh, pride, not good. Dhana, jana, I have so many follow, so many people vote for me, millions people vote for me. That pride of people. Yavana, pride of youth. How long will youth last? Today I'm very youthful, 20 years old, I'm strong in the body, no health problem. I can do anything, I can eat anything, I can do this. But how long will it last? Middle age, old age comes, it will go away, fade away, temporary. Makuru dharavana yavana garvam kalaha nimesha sarvam harati. Nimesha means in twinkling of an eye, everything can go. It doesn't take much time. One moment a person has everything, very rich, good family, nice children, husband, wife, everything is going well, good position, president, everything. In a moment, nothing. Some car accident, a plane accident, and everything. Doesn't take much. Or it may go slowly, also painfully. Either way, everything will go. Nothing is permanent. Body itself will go. So don't be proud. Shankara says, Na kuru dharadana yavana garvam. He is madame vacha. Coming back to 35, mother. People who have this tamasi dhṛtiḥ, they can't give up their pride. Oh, they hold on to their pride. I am so important. I'm so powerful. I have so much. I'm the president, like this one. Next moment, everything will change. That is the tamasi dhṛtiḥ. Navi munchati dhurmeda. Dhurmeda means people who cannot think clearly. Munchati. Dhurmedaha. Kutsita medhaha. This is like intoxicated person. The person cannot think clearly, deeply. Superficial thinking. Such people hold on to these things. They cannot give up their pride. They don't. They cannot give up their tendency to sleep and take it easy. They don't want to work very hard in spite of obstruction. That is sattvikī dhṛtiḥ. Yes, pārtha dhṛtiḥ pārtha tamasic. So we've seen sattvikī dhṛtiḥ, rajasic dhṛtiḥ, tamasic dhṛtiḥ. So we should pursue sattvikī dhṛtiḥ. This sloka number 33 is very important. dhṛtyā yayā dhārayate manaḥprāṇendriyakriyāḥ yogenāvyabhicāriṇyā dhṛtiḥ pārtha sattvikī. That we should pursue. Now in the next three slokas, 36, 37, 38, the Lord is going to describe three kinds of sukha: sattvic sukha, rajasic sukha, tamasic sukha. Sukha means happiness. People can find happiness in different ways. Some people find happiness in a tamasic way, torturing others, killing others. They somehow think that that is the right thing to do. What kind of happiness is that? Brings enormous suffering. That is the tamasic sukha. So sattvic sukha is being described here in 36, rajasic, tamasic in next two slokas. Let us do sattvic sukha. 36. Sukham tvidanim trividham shruname bharatarshava abhyasad ramate yatra dukkhantam sanigacchati. This introductory sloka. Sukham tu idanim trividham shruname bharatarshava. O Arjuna, bharatarshava. The word bharatarshava means, Rishabha means bull. Strong. Bull means strong. Strength, indicates strength. Among all the Bharatas, you are the strongest person. Bharatarshava. Shunu, listen to me. Trividham sukham, three kinds of sukha I'm going to describe. Idani, now. Abhyasad ramate yatra dukkhantam cha nigacchati. That kind of sukha, which by constant practice, abhyasa, will free us from all suffering. Dukkhasya antam. Dukkhantam nigacchati. Will prevent all suffering permanently. That sukha is sattvic sukha. That we have to pursue. Rajasic, tamasic sukha, they are different nature. So let us see. With sattvic sukha is in 37. Sloka 37. Yattadagre vishamiva pariname mrtopamam tatsukam sattvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. Very nice sloka, important sloka. 37. Yattadagre, agre. Agre means in the beginning. Anta means at the end. Agre, vishamiva, as if it is poison. The beginning, very difficult, very unpleasant, difficult. Don't want to do. But pariname, when the result comes at the end, amrtopamam, like nectar, greatest joy. That is sattvic sukha. I'll give you examples. Tatsukam sattvikam proktam. That kind of sukha, which in the beginning appears very difficult. Very difficult. Pariname, when the result comes, if you persist through the difficulty, don't give up in spite of obstructions, then you reach the goal, then amrtopamam, nectar, permanent joy, happiness, unperturbed joy, that will come. Satsukam atma buddhi prasajanam. One more thing. Atma buddhi means our thinking, intellectual power. Most of the people think that we are the body and the mind. Generally. But A sattvic person who has self-knowledge, that person says, things have not the embodiment, I am the Atman, Atma Buddhi. One who knows that he is the Atman, not the embodiment. Such a person has sattvic sukha, permanent. The person who seeks happiness in the body, temporary. Sometimes you get pleasure, happiness, then old age will come, sickness will come, cannot enjoy, that will end. That's not real sukha. That is very temporary. It will go away. When it goes away, it gives you a lot of pain. The ordinary sukha that people seek, most people seek, it a lot of disadvantages. For one thing, it is temporary. Every enjoyment that we have, whether it is coming from money or power, vacation, food or dress or clothing, or power, position or whatever, the kind of enjoyment is temporary. After some time, it will go away. Even if there we can't enjoy. Not permanent. So that's not real sukha. It must be always there. That is real sukha. So the disadvantages of ordinary sukha that most people seek in the world, they are described nicely in one sloka in chapter 5, sloka number 22. There, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, most of the people seek most of the time worldly happiness. But they will realize that after some time this will go away and only unhappiness comes at the end. When they leave, when they come, it is happy. Good position, promotion to president, when it comes, you're happy. When you have to retire, somebody else will come, take over your chair and you have to go home. Then unhappiness. You don't enjoy. Loss. Gain is pleasure, loss is pain. That is nature of worldly happiness. So that is explained in 522. There Bhagavan says, Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayo naya evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buzaha. Samsparshaja bhoga. Sparsha means contact. Contact between what? Sense organ, sense object. The sense object can be a gold jewelry ornament, it can be money, it can be another person, a child or husband or wife, something object is there. Contact, sparsha. If you have contact, then it gives you happiness for some time. But that kind of happiness that comes from contact with sense object is temporary. Adyantavantaha. Supposing it is winter time now, everything is cold, and somebody gives me a hot cup of tea, and I hold on to the hot cup of tea like this in my hand, and that warmth gives me happiness. Nice to hold on to a hot cup of tea when it's cold outside. This kind of happiness I get, it feels good to hold in my hand a hot cup of tea, gives me warmth. That is happiness. But how long will it last? How long can you keep on holding to the cup of tea? You have to get up and do other things too. Or if you drink the tea will be finished. Cup will become cold after some time. It won't remain hot forever. Gradually it will cool down and it warmth will go away. You'll have to give it up. So that is temporary. That kind of happiness comes from contact, sparsha, with another person, with another job or family, money, wealth or property, car or house or body, is temporary. Adyantavantaha, beginning and an end, adiyanta. And they are highly conditional. For me to get happiness from another person or another object, that object or person must be available, must reciprocate. Otherwise, if I say I love you to somebody, that person does not say I love you too, then there is no love. If you meet somebody and you fall in love and say I love you, then that person will immediately say I love you too. Then something will work. Chemistry is there. If that person stays silent, then you say I love you, nothing. Conditional. So object must be available, and that contact, even if it is available, the contact is temporary. How long will that relationship last? That relationship, all relationships are temporary. After some time, separation will come. Either they will divorce, or one person dies, another person remains. Some way separation is bound to come. Two things cannot be always together forever. Any two things cannot be together. They have to separate. Law of nature. Then when separation comes, only pain comes. That therefore, Buddha means a wise buddhiman. A person does not take any delight in such pleasures, sensory pleasures. Then when you want to be happy, how can I find happiness if not through sense objects? The Atman within, God within. Permanent. He does not go away. Other objects will go away, people will go away, people will leave us, but he will not go. He is permanent. If you find happiness in God within you, Vedanta says Atman within you. Bhakta says God within me. That's permanent. He never leaves you. Even if you forget God, he will not leave you. He will hold on to your hand. I may not be aware, but he is guiding me this moment. Even if I don't believe in God, I don't know about God, but he is guiding my life. By his grace, everything is happening. That's devotion, faith. That is true happiness. If you want true permanent happiness that does not go away, does not change, does not go up and down, then find it within yourself, in the Atman or in God. Finding happiness in all other worldly things, outside things, other people, position, power, money, no good. The sign of not intelligence. Nateshu ramate Buddha, 520. That is sattvikī buddhi. Sattvikī sukha. Sattvikam sukham. Coming back to 37. Yat tadagre vishamiva pariname mrtopamam tat sukham sattvikam proktam atmabuddhi prasadijam. The last part is important. True sukha, sattvic sukha is that which comes when we know that I am the Atman. If I know I am the body mind, then that sukha is temporary. Body will become old and no sukha. If I know I am the Atman, permanent. Atman or God. We can replace, Bhakta can say God, Jnanis can say Atman. If I reach out to God, source of permanent, eternal, infinite happiness that will never cease, that will end. God will never give up. If I reach out to other things in the world for happiness, separation will come. That is not a sign of intelligence. Nateshwaramate Buddha. Atma Buddhi Prasadijanam. That sukha which comes by knowing one's own self, by thinking that one is the self, Atman, not the body mind. That kind of sukha is sattvic sukha. That we have to try to achieve that one. Otherwise, rajasic sukha is worldly, sukha and worldly things, property, pleasure, money, family, position, power. These things, they will come, they will give sukha for some time, they will give sukha for some time. But afterwards, separation will come. They will be there, I have to leave, or I will be there, they will leave. One way or other, separation will come. Adyantavantaha. So that we can, now we should not shun those things, not that we should not have. We have all those things, but don't depend upon them. Don't think that will be there forever. You can have family, we should have family, we should have children, money, we should have power, position, may give car and house, everything we need, we can have as much as we want to. Dharmic means, but don't assume that they'll be there, giving you happiness always. Be ready for separation. Swami Brahmarupananda says, you don't have to be poor. Actually, he says, a householder who does not make money is being immoral. Your household duty is to make money. To dharmic means. If a householder does not make money, then he is not doing his duty. He has to make money. A sannyasi should not make money. Opposite duties. If a sannyasi makes money, he wants to serve, then he is not being a true sannyasi. If a householder does not make money, then he is not being a true householder. Duties are different, opposite. That's why Sri Ramakrishna said, one gentleman, Pratap's brother, went to him one day. In the first chapter of the gospel, it is there. So that Pratap's brother tells Sri Ramakrishna, sir, I want to stay with you in Dakshineshwar temple. Please give me permission. I want to think about God, meditate on God. He said like this to Sri Ramakrishna. Then Sri Ramakrishna asked him, what about your family? Who will take care of you when you are here doing meditation? He said, I've sent them to my father-in-law's house. Wife and children. He is taking. Sri Ramakrishna scolded him. You fellow, You married, you got children. You send them to your father-in-law's house. He should take care of you. Bring them back. Go and get a job first. Make some money. Take care of your wife and children. Then you can meditate as long as you want. Duty first. So we can have all these things. You can have a house, property, money, children, property, family, job, position, everything, whatever you can have, but be aware of their temporary nature. Be ready. Without attachment, have all those things, enjoy. But when they leave, I knew. That is sattvikī sukha, sattvic sukha. Yatadagre vishamiva pariname amrtopamam tatsukam sattvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. We'll continue rajasic tamasic sukha. Next time we'll stop here and I shall say the closing prayer. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayah sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om, may all be happy, may all be free from ill health and other problems. May all realize and practice what is noble and auspicious. May no one be subject to any kind of suffering. Om peace. May there be peace and joy in our hearts. Adhyatmika shanti. May there be peace and harmony amongst all beings. Adi bhautika shanti. And may there be peace everywhere in nature. Adi devika shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. All of you stay well and God willing, see you next week. Namaskar.